Foodbank is expecting this winter to be the toughest it has seen as rising fuel and food prices put Australians under greater pressure to make ends meet. Steph Ferrier is at Foodbank's new warehouse in the west of Melbourne and she joins us now. Steph, what's going on?
Yes, good morning. This is a huge new warehouse here at Alterna in Melbourne's west, as you say, and I'm joined now by Dave McNamara, the CEO of Foodbank Victoria. Dave, thanks for coming on the program.
Pleasure, thank you.
First of all, just how dire is the situation across Victoria, in fact across Australia at the moment?
I think before the fuel crisis even happened, too many Australians were already running on empty. We've got housing availability issues, rentals, electricity's gone up by 25% in the last year, food's gone up by 5%. People are just struggling as it is to put food on their table. Across Australia, 1 in 5 households are regularly going out without food or skipping meals before we even had the fuel crisis and the latest interest rate rise.
Of course, you've already started your winter relief campaign and you've had to bring that in early because of these concerns about fuel, about the rising interest rates that are hitting people with mortgages and renters alike. Just how bad do you think it's going to get?
Well, already we've seen a 10% increase in demand from 69,000 meals a day. We're now at 76,000 meals a day. This is just, the excise on fuel hasn't come back in yet. We're looking at unemployment rising. There's nothing but demand on the horizon. As we come into winter, which is one of the most dire periods for people because their heating bills often mean that they're not eating. So we're facing, a really bleak winter across the country.
What are some of the stories that you're hearing from people who are really struggling at the moment?
Well, right now it's people that have never needed help before and don't know where to get that help from. So we're getting inundated with calls on how do I do this, how do I get food and where do I get it from. We've got young families where parents are going without meals. We've got single mothers where they're eating white bread the whole week because they just want their kids to have food. We've got young tradies that are looking at a third of their wage going just to put fuel in their van. People living in their cars now outside schools. Our school breakfast program, demand has gone up by 13% for kids to have breakfast because families are just struggling.
It's heartbreaking. And on the other side of the coin is also the donors as well. A lot of businesses that have really selflessly given so much. But are you finding that they're also having to pull back?
Yeah, look, this is a community organisation. So every part of the community, we feel their pain and we get their support. And at the moment, we've got corporates who come and volunteer, not as able to come as often because of the struggles in running a business. We've got community volunteers who is the backbone of giving out food relief across the country. Victoria Foodbank and Australian food banks are the largest food relief organisations in Australia. And we rely here in Victoria on around 700 volunteers, their cars, their fuel, to come and help us get food out to people.
And this is a huge new warehouse that you have at the moment. Just tell us, this is obviously quite symbolic of that increased demand, isn't it?
Yeah, unfortunately it is symbolic. I mean, it's a great asset that the community has. We've got the cold chain here is fantastic to get fresh, chilled and healthy food out to people. But the storage, as you can see, with 76,000 people a day, we need a lot of food. And our racks need to be full so that we get food in and out. And that money comes predominantly from the people now that are ringing us asking for our help because they can't donate anymore.
It's really tough, isn't it? We've got the federal budget coming up tomorrow. What would your message be to the decision makers about the situation? You're the person who's seeing this on the ground.
I'd say that this problem is a systemic problem and so it needs a systemic approach to fix it. This isn't just about giving some short-term relief like the fuel excise because that's coming back. What you really need and what people need is to know that their futures are looking brighter and that they're being invested in.
Some food for thought there, definitely, for the politicians tomorrow. So obviously you can see all of the workers behind me really hard at work trying to get all of that much needed food out to charities and people who need it most.